So Zohran Mamdani just became the first Muslim mayor of New York City. And 50 Cent, who is a New York native, is not too happy about that. In fact, he just posted this on his Instagram, saying, "Rest in peace to New York City."
And my job as someone who believes deeply in the public sector is to ensure that we're delivering public excellence. And that means every dollar that we raise, I want to be able to prove to you that it's every dollar that's being well spent. That's the relationship there. And I do have to say, even though we have a disagreement on tax policy, every time I get a death threat, I still listen to many men.
And Republicans actively protect pedophiles.
DL Hughley just went off on 50 Cent. And honestly, he wasn't wrong. He called out rich celebrities who talk like they are still for the people, but the moment a policy comes along that could actually help everyday folks, they freak out. As you probably know, Eric Adams' successor, Zohran Mamdani, was recently elected the new mayor of NYC. And even though he hasn't even officially moved into City Hall, 50 Cent is already acting like the city is doomed. DL is now calling him out, exposing 50 for being disingenuous. Let's break down exactly what happened, why 50 Cent's reaction caused such a huge backlash, and how it even forced Mamdani himself to respond.
The working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands.
The drama kicked off after Zohran Mamdani made history as New York City's new mayor, the city's first Muslim mayor and one of the most progressive leaders it has ever elected. His platform focused on rent freezes, affordable housing, and free public transit, all aimed at making life easier for working people instead of favoring the wealthy. And that's exactly why 50 Cent is now losing it. After Mamdani's victory, 50 jumped online acting like the city was doomed. He posted an image of a tombstone reading "RIP NYC" with the year 2025, followed by a photo of him dining with friends captioned, "Escape from New York. Hit the road. All roads lead to Shreveport." For context, Shreveport, Louisiana, is where 50 is building a massive entertainment and film production hub through his company, G-Unit Film and Television. His leased studio space announced a $50 million entertainment district, and is positioning Shreveport as the new epicenter of his business empire, basically saying anyone wanting to work with him now needs to go there. So why the outrage over Mamdani's win? His plan includes raising income taxes by 2% for those earning over $1 million, increasing corporate taxes to around 11.5%, and fixing the property tax system that allows billionaire penthouses to cost less than homes in the Bronx. Mamdani also wants to shift some of the tax burden from working-class neighborhoods to high-end areas like Central Park South, where luxury condos get sweet deals while outer borough homeowners get squeezed. 50 Cent's reaction didn't sit well with the public. Commenters called him out, calling him a sellout and reminding him where he came from. One person wrote, "Guy who sold crack to his community suddenly cares about their well-being." Another reminded him that taxpayer programs helped him as a child, saying, "Your grandma was on food stamps." Others joked he'd soon be in Tel Aviv kissing the wall, LOL. That's when DL Hughley stepped in, calling out 50 for crying over policies meant to help the very people he once came up with. He pointed out that these same rich celebrities stayed silent when Trump cut food stamps and used hunger as a political tool, but now they are warning New Yorkers to
should be afraid of.
Here's what's interesting to me. So Mamdani is going to be the new mayor of New York, 34-year-old kid. Like I said, I live in New York. I couldn't vote in that election, but if I could, it would have been an easy choice. But here's what I really don't understand. The man who is actively trying to use hunger to get his political way, saying that people won't have food unless they do his political bidding, is saying that the man who wants to make rent cheaper, public transportation cheaper, and food cheaper is the one who is ruining in America. So the man who wants to starve you to get what he wants thinks that the dude who wants to feed you, house you, and get you, make you able to get around cheaper is the horrible one. That tells you everything you need to know about where we are.
Now, Mayor Manny decided to respond to 50 Cent and clarify his tax plans. After 50 joked that he'd pay Manny $285,750 to leave New York City, Manny just laughed it off, pointing out that 50 clearly doesn't get how taxing top earners actually helps the entire city.
What I would say to you, 50, if you are indeed watching, or anyone else who's watching this show, is I continue to think that having the top 1% of New York City, who are making more than $1 million a year, having them pay 2% more for an economic agenda that would transform every New Yorker's life, including their own, is something that is worthwhile. I have to say, even though we have a disagreement on tax policy, every time I get a death threat, I still listen to Many Men. It's true.
Well, you take Many Men for motivation. I was going to say your answer sounds a little bit like clickety clank, the money goes into my piggy bank.
Wow.
And if we had more time, we'd do more 50. Can we?
50 Cent is still upset about the new taxes, and he even shared a clip of Manny's response on Instagram, captioning it, "I think his intentions are good, but his tax plan is going to run the big money out of the city, and if he defunds the police, they are going to purge. All roads lead to Shreveport." Let's break this down. What 50 posted is a classic scare tactic. Rich people threatening to leave whenever taxes are raised is one of the oldest tricks in the book. New Yorkers have heard it for decades. But the reality is, they almost never leave because this city is where the money is. Take billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Amann, for example. During the campaign, he attacked Manny viciously, not just disagreeing on policy, but spreading racist posts and painting him as a radical threat, even claiming he'd move to Florida if Manny won. Yet the moment Manny secured the win, Amann tweeted, "Zohran Manny, congrats on the win. If I can help NYC, let me know. You can leave like you said." Suddenly, he's all about helping the city. This is exactly how the wealthy operate. The threat to flee is rarely genuine. It's meant to intimidate voters and politicians before an election. Once the outcome is set, they flip the script, play nice, and pretend they were team players all along. 50 Cent's reaction mirrors this same dynamic. When the wealthy feel even a small portion of their wealth is threatened, they spread fear, act like they care about working-class people, but at the end of the day, they stay in New York, richer than ever. As for 50's claim that Manny will defund the police, that's not accurate. Manny never proposed completely defunding law enforcement. His plan focuses on reallocating funds toward housing, mental health, and community programs instead of funneling millions into a department that still struggles to curb crime. It's not a purge, it's a strategy grounded in common sense. Cities that invest in people rather than just punishment often see less crime, not more. So while 50 Cent's post feeds into fearmongering about the rich fleeing and the city collapsing, the reality tells a very different story. All this fear about New York collapsing really only benefits the wealthy. While everyday New Yorkers are stressing about rent and catching the subway, 50 Cent is worried about a tax increase he could easily pay from his Houston home. That's exactly the disconnect DL Hughley pointed out. When someone who made their fortune climbing the ladder suddenly acts like struggling people are the problem. At the end of the day, this isn't just about 50 Cent throwing a fit. It's part of a larger pattern. Rich people trying to scare everyone into thinking progress is dangerous. Mayor Manny is focused on making life better for ordinary citizens, and somehow that terrifies the wealthy. Yet, the same people crying "RIP NYC" aren't going anywhere. They are still profiting off the city they claim is doomed. So now I want to hear from you. Do you agree with 50 that Manny's policies will ruin New York? Or is he just another celebrity who forgot where he came from once he got rich? Drop your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next video.